Last August, former Alaska Senator Ted Stevens and 8 other people were flying deep into Alaska's wilderness on a fishing trip. For reasons still unknown, their plane made a sudden sharp maneuver, then crashed into the thick Alaskan wilderness. Senator Stevens and 4 other passengers died on impact. Among the survivors, former NASA Administrator Sean O'Keefe and a close colleague of the senator's, Jim Morhard. On Tuesday, the National Transportation Safety Board offered evidence that the pilot's history of medical problems may have contributed to the crash. After that hearing, Mr. Morhard spoke for the first time about the crash and a very long, terrifying night in the wilderness.
There were a number of us that just enjoyed fishing, and we certainly enjoyed fishing with Senator Stevens. And we had the opportunity to go up to Alaska to fish for silver salmon. We got into the plane and took off, and I'd say, somewhere between 30 to 40 minutes into it, I felt an abrupt, I knew we had crashed. And I woke up, and Sean O'Keefe, I was on top of Sean, and the first thing I did was I looked down and I saw Bill Phillips next to me, and I knew he was gone. And I really had a hard time just my mind comprehending what was going on. And I looked around, and all the seats in the plane had been sheared off. And I knew right there that the death that was involved, and it was instant. The plane was at quite an angle, and so I'm sliding headfirst to the back of the plane, and I thought I better roll so I don't do a face plant, and I ended up with my neck wedged in the back of the plane. Again, I'm in shock. I don't have any idea that I have anything broken or hurt, and I can't seem to turn over, and I think, my God, I'm paralyzed or I'm dying. At one point I just made the suggestion, why don't we say the rosary? So here are 4 Catholic boys just sitting there, and all you could hear was the rain and praying. We hear the planes, and they get closer, then they get farther away, and you can imagine your expectations and emotions rise and fall with the noise level of the planes, because they're looking for you. And then all of a sudden, one dive bombs our plane. To Sean's credit, he got Willie to get his hand out a crack in the plane and waved it. And the pilot saw it. Helicopters came with rescuers, but by the time they got there, it was dark. And they broke the news to us that we were not going to leave that night. I really just want to emphasize that the first responders were just unbelievable. And they knew, they didn't have anything to stop the pain for the most part. And they knew that they just had to hang tough with us. And they did everything they could emotionally and physically they could for us.
The other passengers who shared and survived that long night were Sean O'Keefe, his son Kevin, and 13-year-old Willie Phillips.